Hey, Suzanne here with Caregiver Haven. So, today we're going to talk about being organized, and this has transformed so many caregiving journeys into the most miraculous schedules I have ever seen. Where these caregivers, no matter what their senior throws at them, no matter how many duties they have absolutely changed their lives. So, welcome to the Organized Caregivers Tools That Work. So today we're going to focus on something so simple but so powerful. And it's building a care schedule that's going to protect your time, and it's going to reduce your chaos, and it's going to free you up without guilt. And I've worked with thousands of caregivers, and I've seen what happens when we put this structure in place. It's life changing. And by the end, you're going to walk away with the tools, the templates, and the roadmap you can actually focus on, reset, repeat, and get so good at it, you're going to be the one everybody's jealous of. So, by the way, you already have a lot of these tools in your library. Especially look for the Caregiver's Magical Relief Plan in Category 10, and also look for Building a Successful Habit in Category 6. Use the templates that you have throughout all the categories for quick and easy results. You already have everything you need to be that caregiver that seems to do it all without any stress or worry in her life. So let's go ahead and get started. All right. We're going to talk about how disorganization is going to steal your energy if it doesn't already, which is going to lead to burnout. And you know that you even have a caregiver stress test that you can take once every three months to see how well your stress is before you totally burn out. And then the brain dumping idea, I'm going to talk about the proven systems to prioritize and delegate. And you have that magical relief planner that shows you how to delegate. And then we're going to talk about the templates to anchor self care and how to do that. And then that path forward and beyond. And I'll tell you right now, I have never seen caregiving as a journey. People talk about, oh, the caregiving journey, and I know I've written about the caregiving journey, but because so many caregivers have been so successful at this program, I now see it as a dance. It's a rhythm. It's light on your feet. It's moving quickly. It's knowing the next step. It's doing it automatically. It's with the energy that you know you have, feeling happy, feeling free, feeling light. That's what this is. Caregiving should be a dance. It should not be a journey. And yes, a dance is going to end someday, but the music within you plays on. That's the caregiving experience I want you to have. Okay, the constant tug of war. And we know that most caregivers live in this. And every day feels like a balancing act between the senior needs, the family responsibilities, and your own health. And without a plan, it's schedule, it's going to be chaos because you're always putting out fires. You're not preventing them. They're going to show up if you don't prevent them. And the truth is, no one's going to be able to do it all. So when you try, you are going to burn out. And this is where organization becomes a lifeline, not a luxury. The goal isn't doing more. Your goal is to do the right things at the right time so you can finally breathe. And I'm going to give you breathing room in your schedule. So when you feel guilty saying no to something, every yes has a hidden cost, and it's usually going to be your health. So it's okay to say no. So let's talk about the hidden cost of chaos. You forget appointments, you can double book yourself, you skip meals, you forget their medication, right? And you end up being resentful or ashamed. There's exhaustion, there's short temper, guilt, and sometimes even mistakes in our care. And at the end of the day, are you feeling good about the day you had with your senior? Or are you remembering the time you snapped at him or her when you didn't mean to? You know, they know they're a burden to you. They know that you're doing the best you can, and they will always love you because parents always love their children. And your senior loves you no matter what you say, no matter how you snap. But is snapping necessary? No. When you have rhythm in your day, you're going to find that things come so much easier. You don't want to forget a medication and end up like one caregiver did. Her mom was in the ER. That's pretty significant, but you don't want to go there. You don't want to wait until you see something that's an infection that's occurring, her legs are swelling. You want to be in a rhythm. And that's what the whole category on healthcare and taking care of your senior is all about. It's watching for those signs and those symptoms. It's knowing what to do next. It's using the templates, and I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, let's do the mindset shift. All right. First of all, we know we need to put some time in our schedule for ourselves. We want our life back. We want to be able to make the choices without thinking about what do we do about our loved one? What do we do about that senior? Where are they going to travel with us to the family reunion or the wedding? Or are they going to stay at home? Who's going to take care of them if they stay at home? That kind of thing. That's one thing, but self-care is a luxury. And self care, many people go, what is really self care? But I have taught over the years, especially as a self advocate, that self care is a blanket term. It really doesn't mean anything. I mean, we don't sit there and we sit in a chair and go, I'm self caring right now. No, self caring is an event that you have to have. Okay, so is it going to the garden because that's your favorite hobby? Is it reading a book? Is it listening to your favorite songs? Is it taking a walk? Is it watching your favorite movies? What is self care to you? Is it eating that ice cream cone, even if it's 5 minutes? If it's going in your room and crying for 10 minutes, that's self care. And that is okay. Is it washing your hair? Maybe getting a shower in that you need? Maybe putting on makeup, maybe smiling at your spouse. Is it dating your spouse? Is it giving your kids a hug? Is it helping them with their homework? Is it giving them a call? Is it calling a friend of yours? Is it going out with girlfriends or guy friends? Is it taking up a new hobby? All those things are self care. We'll talk about that more. So, what I want you to do, the first thing is I want you to brain dump. I just want you to grab a pen and open your notes, your composition notebook, or your blank sheet of paper, or index cards like I use. And I want you to brain dump. I use 3x5 index cards. They're cheap. And I just brain dump about things that I need to do. I have the caregiving tasks. I have my family duties. I have my work. Putting out this webinar is something I had to do. My errands that I have to run because I have to buy, birthday cards and stuff like that. And what about food that I'm running out of? I just brain dump everything. Now I see it in black and white and I've written it down. I'm not going to forget it. And things pop in your head you need to do, and you can use whatever programs you want. Sometimes I just yell out to Alexa that I need something done. Or I grab another index card because they're all over the house and I write it on there. One item per index card. Because if I do more than that, my ADD goes crazy and I get unfocused and I can't focus anymore. So once you do this, and I've had caregivers do this, and they just gasp at all the things I write down. Some of them write 3, 4, 5 pages down, and that's okay. That's exactly what I want them to do. I want them to brain dump everything. Now we can manage it. So we take 10 minutes. I set timers all the time. I set timers. 10 minutes, it makes me work faster. It doesn't make me just take a whole day to do it. Now, take that list and divide it. You've got must do, can delegate, and can delay. The 3 Ds. Do it, delegate it, delay it. So when somebody says to you, hey, what can I help you with? Say, you know what? You can call the doctor and set up this appointment. They can call the doctor and set up the appointment. Or I need somebody to check on blah, blah. Okay? I need somebody to look over this medical bill for me. I need somebody to stay with mom for 10 minutes. All right? Do it, delegate it, or delay it. And you need to see what only you can do and what others can do if asked. That is so important. And I'll tell you that I've told you before, it takes 32 people a week to take care of one senior in a senior care facility, an adult daycare facility, or a memory unit. 32 people a week. Why? Because these facilities know that they have to change out the people. If they don't, they burn out. You cannot ask the same person to show up over and over and over again. And that's what you're doing to yourself. You are asking the one person to show up over and over and over again, where everybody else is using 32 people a week. You're using one. So it's time to start delegating. And that's what that magical relief planner does. It shows you how to delegate. Start asking the stupidest, simple tasks. Somebody says, "What can I do for you?" Say, "You know what? We need an extra gallon of milk. Next time you're at the grocery store, can you pick it up for me?" "Sure, I'm going today. Why don't I pick it up and just drop it off?" Okay. So that's what delegating is. It doesn't have to be one big thing, it can be simple things that you need done. If you resist delegating and asking other people for things, then start small, handing off just 10-minute tasks for them. Or if they're going to the post office, "You know what? I need some things delivered at the post office or at UPS," all sorts of things. All right. Now, when we're going to start talking about schedules here, but before we do that, and this whole program is based on getting you the rhythm that you need in caregiving, getting you the rhythm you need. I want you to map your energy. Most of you already know about your energy. You know that when you're the best, when you have the most energy, when you have focus, you know, is it morning, noon, or night? Break your day up three times a day, morning, noon, or night. When do you have the highest energy? And when do you have the lowest energy? And then everything else is in the middle. What do I mean by that? You've got this task, you've got this brain dump, this list of everything. The more complex the task, for instance, medical bills. If you have to tackle medical bills and call the Medicare office and get all that done, and that takes a lot of energy, do that when you're high energy. It's complex. Getting answers, waiting on the phone, things like that, very high, complex tasks, trying to figure out a bill and how not to pay it, obviously, because their bills are always wrong 100% of the time, and see my medical bill reduction templates for that. But you take this, you do it at high energy. Now, low energy is a simple task like laundry, something you've done a million times before. Putting a meal on the table, a low task. If you know you're going to have, let's say, spaghetti and sauce, something that's easy to make. Low tasks are things that don't require energy because they're already things that you've done so many times before. They're just habits, making the bed and things like that, just low energy. If it takes a lot of energy to get your senior into the shower and out of the shower, and you're both sweating, and even when you're done with the shower, and then you got to clean up the shower, complicated task, you have to do that at high energy, not low energy. So figure these things out. You have high energy, low energy, and then everything else in the middle. Okay? So this is very important when you start looking at your schedule. So if you don't know when you're high energy, track your energy for 3 days and notice when you feel sharp and when you feel sluggish. Why is this so important? It's going to teach you efficiency, not more effort. All right? Like, for instance, if you know that a task, well, we'll talk about it in a little bit. So hold on. Oh, right here, build buffer zones. Okay. So I am one that always says I can get a task done in 10 minutes when it's really going to take me 20. So I build in these buffer zones, and most people need to do this, especially when your schedule seems packed. Your dump list of all your tasks is like crazy, and you think I can get that task done in 10 minutes. No, probably can't. So you're going to add 10 minutes on the front end and 10 minutes on the back end. You need to leave spaces white. You need white spaces in your schedule. So also you have to remember that life with seniors is unpredictable. There could be a fall, there's one long phone call, there's mom can't find her glasses, mom's not taking a shower when she needs to. All of these things can wreck your day. That's why buffer zones matter. When you get frustrated, you may need to buffer zone with a 10-minute break to breathe. Okay? So that is not only self care, it's got to be part of the task of mom won't take a shower. So add 15, 30 minutes of white space between your tasks. It's going to feel like wasted time, but it's your safety net. It's always there. Again, we're getting you in rhythm. Okay? We're getting you in a rhythm that you're moving through your day getting things done. Caregivers who plan tight schedules, and most of my caregivers planned unbelievable tight schedules, they crumble. Then they call me as a caregiver advocate, as their physician assistant, and say, I'm burning out. I can't do this anymore, and nobody's helping me. Label your buffer. Label it as flex time if you have to. If you feel like I can't leave anything white, Suzanne, I have to put something in there. Put in flex time and color code it. Best thing you can do. All right. Here's where most caregivers slip. They schedule everything else and then they squeeze themselves in. Nope. You're going to put you in first. Pick the prettiest color you like, your favorite color. That's me time. That is going to be yours. And put it in. Then you can put in the meals, your sleep, exercise, downtime, all that, hobbies, whatever else, date nights, whatever else you want. This is going to anchor you and it's going to keep you steady. You're going to protect this just like you're going to show up for yourself. You have an appointment with yourself. Use this kind of block scheduling that we've talked about to get yourself scheduled in first, then do everything else. And treat your self-care block non-negotiable. What's going to happen here is you're going to find that you're going to start slipping. And you're going to find that maybe getting that meal ready for mom and she's not eating and you're coaxing her to eat and she's not eating is going to take longer. But behind that, you have a self-care. And you're going to realize that you didn't get to self-care that day because by the time you got mom fed and you got her to bed and you forgot to self-care. You're going to recognize that and you're going to reset for the next day. Okay? Or you're going to add that self-care in first thing at another time, first thing in the morning the next day. All right. Let's talk about color coding. Pick your favorite color. That's your self-care. Then you're going to have caregiving. You're going to have one for family. You're going to have one for maybe errands, whatever else you need, maybe one for work. And in seconds, you're going to spot your overload or your balance. This is why color coding is so important. I had and have had many caregivers put in their whole day and show me their color code chart. And I'm like, where are you? And none of that, they didn't even have a self-care in there. So use your bright and favorite color for self-care so it stands out. Whatever color has to stand out, and make sure those are in there. Make sure those are in there. And that's an appointment you have with yourself. All right. Then involve your senior, if possible, with it. Let them know. And again, I go back to the schedule. So when I was teaching high school, my students knew my schedule. And they knew I spent the first week, 2 weeks explaining to them the schedule, what was expected of them, what was expected of me. There was no ifs, ands, buts about it. My students knew the schedule. And I never, ever planned. Classes were 40 minutes long. Block scheduling was longer, but classes were typically 40 minutes long. So my lesson plan was only 15 to 20 minutes long because I knew there were a buffer. I had to have a buffer in there. The buffer was they didn't settle down for the first 5 minutes. And then we finally got to their books out and we finally got them up and running and on their computers or whatever we were going to use. Then they asked questions. There were interruptions and all of that stuff. So I had to buffer my lesson plans with 15, 20 minutes for a 40-minute lesson. I never, ever had a discipline problem. I never had chaos in my classroom. I never, in all the years I taught school, sent a child to the principal. My students knew and respected the schedule, and it was their schedule as well as mine. We figured it out. We worked it out. I shared it with them. I didn't say, well, tomorrow we'll see. Well, when are we going to have the next test? Oh gosh, I don't know. I'll let you know. We're going to have a pop quiz. No, I didn't pull those things. Nobody liked pop quizzes or surprise quizzes. Nobody liked those. That was a power play. I was never, I, I was not the pressure cooker. I was the pressure release valve. That's what I want you to be in your caregiving dance. I want you to be the pressure release valve for your senior, not the pressure cooker. So put these buffer zones in, involve your senior. And I'll tell you a special magical moment is when your senior sees your schedule, they feel safe and they feel loved and they feel cared for. That is how my students felt. That is how my mom felt when I caregived for her. She knew I had a schedule and she taught me how to schedule because she raised 6 kids with a schedule. And we all knew growing up that the schedule was flexible, but it meant we were safe, we were loved, and we were cared for. I can't emphasize a schedule enough. Okay, they're only going to work if they evolve. So every Sunday, spend 15 minutes reviewing your past week. What worked, what failed. This is part of your reflections, the template that I've given you on reflections. And what needs shifting. This weekly reset is proactive, it's not reactive. It's going to tell you what needs to change. And every week is going to be different. Why? I guarantee every week is going to be different because of this one factor, if nothing else. Your senior is going to age. And as your senior ages, there's change. So, to give you a simple example, you're going to notice that your senior is not walking like they used to walk. You're going to notice that they're sleeping longer than they used to. You're going to notice they're not eating like they used to, or they're not eating their favorite things that they once loved. They're losing their taste buds. They can't see as well. They can't hear as well. They're aging. And so these weekly schedule adjustments and resets are going to allow you to flow in the rhythm of your caregiving life. It's that easy. It's time to take a breath. It's time to step back and realize that you don't have to be perfect at this. You just have to get it going and be flexible. Get the rhythm in the reset. Okay? So, what works? What doesn't work? What do you need to drop? What do you need to tweak? And then you're going to share it. And there's another thing that you might think about is that we have special holidays throughout the year, and these bring special events into our life. So as we set up our schedule, we want to remember that these things are coming. And then last but not least, we're going to have emergencies in our life. And are you ready for these? See my emergency preparedness kit, the Be Smart kit. because what the Be Smart Kit does is it shows you the natural disasters that we have. For example, I know that every year we're going to have hurricanes that are going to hit Florida or the East Coast. We have those hurricanes. The West Coast has the fires. The North has the snowstorms that give power outages. These are weaknesses. Texas, the South has flooding, especially the Midwest. They have terrible floods every spring. These are natural disasters that occur. We know that. Well, you're going to have disasters of another kind. Besides those, you're going to add emergency rooms, falls, strokes, operations that have to occur, hip replacements, things like this. Even though they might be planned, they're still going to change your schedule, and you have to get back to them. So you get a rhythm going. You add this to your rhythm. For example, I'll give you a perfect example is my mom. My mom's colon ruptured. She was 90 years old. Her colon ruptured. I knew I had to get her to the emergency room. The doctor said, we don't know what's going on with her, but something's not right. And I'm going to have to go in and do surgery and figure this out. So he said, call the whole family together because this is not good. She's probably not going to make it. I've done 2 of these, and she's 90. So I said, you don't know my mother. She's going to make it through just fine. So he went ahead and did the surgery and took out her colon and put it in a colostomy bag instead. And now she had a gaping hole from her breastbone all the way down past her belly button. And I had to pack it every day, morning and night. Yes, I could have had a nurse come in, but she didn't want a nurse. She wanted me to do it, even though I'm not a nurse. I'm a physician assistant. I would have had a nurse do it, but she wanted me to do it. And it was time I spent with her. And I packed this wound every day, wet to dry, it's called. It's a procedure that I learned and I did. And I just put it in my rhythm. So I did it before I went to work every morning, and I did it every evening when I got home. And in 6 weeks, she was fine. And in 6 months, we got the colostomy bag out and we reversed the operation, and she was fine. So these are just because I had a schedule, it didn't overwhelm me. And that's what I want us to think about when we have emergencies. Common pitfalls. Okay, the best schedules are going to fall into these traps. Number 1, you're going to overfill. Number 2, you're going to forget to block time for yourself. Number 3, you're going to refuse to delegate. I know this happens. You think the simplest things like, oh, I got to go to the post office. Somebody else can go for you. Or you're going to skip your weekly reset and you're not going to look at your schedule anymore. And I've worked with so many people that go, oh, I didn't keep up with it again. That's what this program is all about. It's about me resetting you. I'm going to have your back on this. I'm the one that resets your caregiving schedule for you. So you stay in rhythm with what needs to be done. Figure out what needs to be done, brain dump, and then let's just get a schedule going. The tools are going to work for you. That's how they're designed. All right, let's talk about templates for a minute, because all your PDFs that you have in this program are templates. They are templates to use for the quick and easy, what needs to be done, and they get you closer to a goal. For instance, if you are looking at legal and financial, you have templates in there, whether it's a medical bill reduction or it's a template on money matters and getting a elder law attorney. Baby steps. It's just baby steps to get you closer to your goal. What is your goal in legal and financial matters? It's to have all the paperwork done. It's to have all their passwords. It's to checklist the 31 legal and financial documents that you need in a folder. Put it in a folder so you have it, so you know where everything is, just in case your loved one passes. You'll have everything at your fingertips, especially their passwords. Do you need to do this over and over again once you do it? No. All you need to do is revise it or keep it updated when anything changes on it. It's not that hard. That template, that 31 legal and financial documents checklist, is one of the biggest products, PDFs, templates that people use. And then I'll share a story with you about Maria. This gal was absolutely overwhelmed. And as a senior care navigator and helping her get where she needed to go, she called me and said, I'm overwhelmed and I'm burning out. Or at least she recognized the burnout. So when I got there, what I would always do is I would have a private meeting with the caregiver. Say, what do you need from me? What are your top priorities? And I just wrote them down. I brain dumped with her everything she needed from me or she thought I could help her with. Okay. Then we called in the senior if this was possible. I called over the senior and I said, I'd like you to join the meeting. What is everything you see as a priority? Things that you would like. And I included the senior always. And they were never the same as the caregiver. Never the same as the caregiver. And the caregiver was shocked. What the caregiver thought the senior needed and what the senior thought they needed, two different things, always. So then we worked together and we set up a priority of those things that were important to both of them that they needed help with and that I could help them with, and things that I could do for them and things that they could get others to do for them. So this eventually led Maria to where she was getting calmer results. And her senior now knew she needed time off. In fact, her senior became an advocate for her to take time off, that she was fine, that she would have somebody else come in, that she was okay with others doing, chores like running to the grocery store or picking up an extra gallon of milk or eggs or whatever she needed. And for the first time in years, Maria told me that she felt like she was steering the ship, and not clinging to the sides of the ship and drowning. And that's what organization does for you. Basically, all I did was listen to what their needs were, and I just organized it in a way, and then I kept up with them. Did Maria have a crisis? Yes. What did she do in a crisis? She called me as a senior care navigator. I handle crises. So I know what to do in that case, and I walk her through it. So there was nothing so emotional in my realm of things that I couldn't see the forest through the trees and get done what needed to be done for her. So help was there. She just knew that she had a backup system now. And then from survival to system, what do I mean from this? What do I mean by this? Okay, use the templates, use a schedule. Look at what's burning you out. Look at that caregiver stress quiz or the burnout quiz and see if you're burning out and where you're burning out. And just tweak those little things back into your schedule from burnout to balance. That's what it's all about. And it's going to protect your energy. So it's baby steps along the way. Don't wait till you're at your breaking point. You can do it today. And then here are some takeaways for you that I think are extremely important. First of all is brain dumping. Do that. And then the power of energy. Look at your energy schedule. And then look at your brain dump list, the complicated things, and start scheduling them after you've put in your self-care time. And remember, your self-care time is not just self-care. It's got to be an event. It's got to be an event, whether it's, like I said, listening to music, taking a walk outside, doing your favorite hobby, playing the piano, golfing, whatever it is, out with girlfriends, whatever it is, going for a drive in the car. One caregiver said, I just sit in the, I stop 5 minutes before I have to go back home, and I just sit and relax. And then I pull into the garage. Okay. So just the simple things. What is that one event you're going to do? Choose one All right, color code. Don't forget to color code. Don't forget to put in your events and self care. Don't forget your weekly reset. Now, your weekly reset gets interesting because you're going to pick a time and I need you to attach it to an event. Like, for instance, I forget to water my plants. So, what do? I water my plants after I go to church. Okay. So, always put it with an event. That way, I know every Sunday my plants get watered or they're going to die. Um, let's say you want to reset. Is it after or before breakfast on a certain day? Monday, Sunday, whatever day you want. And then 15 minutes to bring in your senior, see what's important to them, and work on the schedule together. But there are certain things in your schedule that do not change, just like in senior cares centers or adult daycare centers or memory units. There are certain things that don't change. Meals are sometime between, let's say, 7 in the morning to 9, 11 to 1, 4 to 6. Remember, they've got to have those buffer zones in them. So you've got to put in the buffer zones in those. Keep them flexible. Keep your list handy. Keep doing it over and over again. And you're going to find there's no chaos in your life. You're going to find you don't brain dump. I mean, you do brain dump, but you sort it and you're mapping your energy. Use the templates. They make your life easy. They're stupid, simple templates, steps, baby steps that you use. That like that 31 legal and financial checklist. It's overwhelming, maybe, but you just look at it. Now you got a checklist and you can collect those things as you go. Make copies and use a folder. I use an accordion folder and everything's in that accordion folder. So I know where to grab it. And then a path forward to move from survival into the systems. This is where you're resetting your whole schedule all day. You're resetting. Same thing. Let's take something. I just want to add here about healthcare. All right. You may look at it and go, oh, I don't know what to do. You know what? We have a whole system for that. There's a whole system. When you see that mom's got a symptom, sign or symptom, there's a whole system of what do you do first? It's a template. And you use this template and you use it over and over and over again. You get so good at it, you think, I don't even need the template anymore. I can do this just by memory. Why? Because every single physician and physician assistant has learned this template in their medical schooling. They've learned this template, and now you're on the same page because I'm giving you the same template I used in my medical practice. You use it over and over and over again. And when you get to the senior's doctor, you have this template and they go, where'd you get this template? I know this template. This is the template I use. So you're going to use that template and get on the same page, ask the right questions at the right time, know what to do if the treatment works or it doesn't work, and go from there. And you're in a rhythm. You're in an absolute beautiful rhythm with your senior doctor. In fact, your senior doctor is going to be so amazed by you, they'll spend more than 8 minutes with you. They'll probably spend 20 or 30 minutes with you because they love you because you know what you're doing. That's called advocacy. That's called getting the best care for your senior. That's called making your senior healthier, making your senior feel better, making your senior live without pain, making your senior happy, making your senior more energized. Why? Because of this one silly template where you know how to talk to their doctors. That's why I give it to you. It's all in the rhythm, and that's why it works. So, let me know if you have any questions, and we'll talk soon. Take care.